Hello everyone, and welcome to this audio podcast. Excuse me. This audio podcast is part of the lab coat. As part of the lab coat, this audio podcast is part of a Bostix Peril. This audio podcast is part of a Labostix and conundrum. And this audio podcast as part of the Click, and this audio podcast as part of a ZtormLabostix production. Through this audio podcast, a look at works by Muhammad SN and Hussein in around 2016, looking at issues in CKD terminology and where the work had been put forward as a sort of a poster presentation for an international sort of symposia in around 2016. And so in around the summary of this works, link to in amongst the evidence, and where evidence was primarily in around sort of pediatrics and young people and kidney care, but also in amongst adult sort of nephrology or kidney care. The aim of the publication was to sort of explore or investigate some of the sort of terminology and contentions, in around and surrounding chronic kidney disease or CKD, as sort of a classification and identification, and where aligned to severities. A rationale for having a sixth CKD stage is investigated as an alternative to CKD stages 3A and 3B, to provide a transparency and a justification between CKD stages. In addition, some emphasis on the National Institute for Health and Care Excellence, or NICE, or NICE guidelines are highlighted. That draws this audio podcast to a close. This audio podcast is part of the lab coat. This audio podcast is part of a Bostix Peril. This audio podcast is part of a Labostix and conundrum. This audio podcast as part of the Click, and this audio podcast as part of a ZtormLabostix production.